The thing that I've been telling levy payers, and we started doing this before the Senate inquiry was delivered. Remember, the grass-fed Senate inquiry was around just the grass-fed levy. We have close to just under 50,000, I suppose, 50,000 members of MLA. And there was 188 submissions, not all of them negative, but those submissions certainly had that there's not enough transparency in MLA. So obviously I lead the conversation with MLA saying through transparency we'll deliver accountability. It is very hard at the moment for a levy payer to understand exactly what their levies are being spent on with MLA. It will take us a while to get there. All the information is there. It's the normal things, invest money in a SAP processor to come in and re-engineer SAP, and it's a re-engineer the website. It's all the same stuff that many organisations have faced, and MLA faces a challenge to very simplistically tell a beef grower in central Queensland where their investment is being spent throughout the value chain. How long have I got?
Okay, well.
Okay, so that's the language that we've been using, but at the moment the language again too is around MLA is a provider across the value chain. So the other place that it works is the matching funds that I spoke about from government, in my opinion, generates R&D through the whole industry. So if you're a processor, and what is now evolving through the processing sector is that I could show you a video of a lamb boning room that is fully automated, doesn't have anyone in it. A carcass comes in, it is X-rayed, so the bones within a lamb carcass are X-rayed and sliced within a millimetre. This particular plant that I could mention is doing 10,000 lambs a day, and by a robot slicing the lamb racks within a millimetre from the midsection of a lamb to the forequarter, that plant is generating $18,000 more a day in that primal cut. And this is where we're going to. There's infrared now scanning, as the robot will pick up a forequarter, scan it, and tell the Rex robot where to cut it and how to cut it. It is quite revolutionary, but is that going to add value to farm gate? Is the question I always get asked. But before I go there, the investment on that robotic system through the processing sector comes through the MLA donor company. So MLA manages the R&D across the value chain to ensure that there's no duplication through the value chain. So that processor may have asked for $1 million from their matching funds. He puts in $1 million, and that $2 million is invested through MLA. MLA work with the processor through the donor company, and we make sure that the R&D project complies with the statutory funding agreement that the taxpayer is fundamentally paying for in that robotic system. Having that pool there, which is $80 to $100 million a year, has generated an enormous amount of R&D in the industry. The question could be asked, would that processing plant spend $2 million to do the R&D or $1 million? The thing about putting it through the taxpayer matching funds process is any IP can then become socialised for other exporting plants or processing plants to use that R&D. But the thing that it is going to deliver, and robotics is going to deliver to add value at farm gate, is objective carcass measurements. So if I take lamb as an extreme example, a producer may get paid on the weight of a carcass, but he also wants to know the fat score of that carcass and that lamb. Well, today it's done with a thumb. And the thumb measures, this great thumb, the thumb measures it within 5 millimetres. When we start getting to objective carcass measurements, we'll be able to pay a producer on cuts, eye muscle score, fat colour, intermuscular fat or marbling. All these things will be measured objectively, and that will give the producer more confidence about selling over the hook and actually getting paid for what they sell. It will also come back to the argument which a lot of producers are very concerned about, is does the age of an animal determine its eating quality? And then it is a big concern for industry, because once an animal breaks from milk teeth and 2 teeth rise up, all of a sudden it's discounted, because apparently in the language that we now use, which is 30 years old, it has a lesser eating quality. When science will deliver, and we'll do what we call spectral imaging, which is one above ultraviolet light, to determine bone density, so that when we pay producers in the future, bone density will be a measure of eating quality, along with probes that will go through the meat and send electronic signals back as to the tenderness of the meat, so that we can have objective discussions around eating quality and the measurement of the meat. So in 2012, the net present value expected from the MDC is expected to be around $284 million. The expected value from the MDC and the robotics, if you put that across and start to expose to the industry, just in 2012, in its infancy, the value back to the industry is $284 million. So one boning plant took out 20 million people. 20 people. Hasn't taken out 20 million yet. The unions are beyond me about that. So MLA's changed, and in summary, we've tried to reinvigorate our R&D consultation model, as I explained, and we've implemented this over the last few months. We've gone out and we've spoken to producers about how they want to influence their spend on the levy. We've restructured, because there's no doubt after this massive sell-off, as I explained, 8 million cattle plus 1 million cattle going out, 17 million cattle. It's obviously, if you're a levy company, our drought starts when it rains. We will not have the income that we had, and we need to understand how we're going to continue to support industry systems that we do support today without having to close down R&D parts of our business. So we have addressed our operating costs and are looking to reduce them by $9 million over the next 2 years. We've cut our cloth like our producers have, and what we're doing now within MLA's efficiency and effectiveness, we've reviewed every task, every position, we've rewritten the vision, we've rewritten the performance measures of every individual person within the business. And someone that's come from the commercial sector into an R&D sector, don't underestimate what a challenge that is. Getting an R&D team to actually come up with what are the specific measures that you are going to do. And a lot of those are about me asking that all R&D starts with adoption at farm gate to add value at farm gate. So as I said, accountability through being transparent. We continue to do strategic marketing through our global markets to establish what will have to be, from the generic marketing that MLA's done to supporting premium brands underpinned by the generic marketing. Right now I'll start on, you want me to start on the economic look for cattle? No, don't worry. There's a lot written about it, and it's been a lot said before I go to questions, but as I explained, there is enormous global demand. If I come back to farm gate, the issue will be that when it does rain extensively across Australia, the eastern young intercattle today has, it peaked here about 2 weeks ago to 365 cents a kilo carcass weight, and it's now dropped back down to 350 cents a kilo carcass weight. To give you an idea of where I think it'll go once it rains, I believe it'll be 450 to 500 cents a kilo carcass weight. Please don't invite me back in 12 months to test that theory. But you can see the sort of extremities. Anything over about 425 is a record. But that's what will simply happen with the global demand and the inventory level of livestock left in Australia. But the concern is that won't change, that rain won't immediately change the fortunes of beef producers in Australia. Because so many livestock have been sold, they have low inventory, and they don't have the inventory to sell to take advantage of those high prices, and may not for 2 to 3 years. So that's what's happening at MLA. The global demand for meat's been well documented and well publicised, that it is at all-time high levels. The biggest challenge from that will be positioning red meat as a premium product that people will pay a premium price for against our other proteins, chicken, pork, and that will be where the whole of industry across the whole value chain must start directing its energies and understanding. So I hope that's given you an insight into what MLA does, the challenges with MLA. As I said at the start, I was asked to talk about the changes with MLA, and hopefully that's given you a good insight into that. So thank you very much for having me. I'll have questions.
So Richard's happy to take questions from the floor. If you'd like to just state your name and organisation, if there's anyone.
Hang on.
Question up at the back here.
University of Sydney. And before people say academic, I've spent 30 years in Northern Australia, and I was there last week in Central Queensland. Richard